Welcome back to the Organic Fanatic Show. How we doing, family? Yeah, come on in. So we are pretty much just over the halfway point. We just lost to Toronto by a 3-point shot by Jalen Brunson, none other than Captain Clutch himself. Let's talk about a couple of things real quick. Just a quick convo today. We just talking about how the Knicks are playing, taking a loss to Toronto, and also the elephant in the room that everybody's talking about might be Knicks for clicks. I think that's where we're going to now this part of the season. Uh, Thibbs, we're looking for anything, boy. Just arrows on his back. So now we're talking about minutes. That's the big thing we're talking about. Minutes. We're talking about, are the starters playing too many minutes? Are they getting burned out? Is that why we're losing? Is that why we're losing in the fourth quarter? Let's talk a little bit about that. So right now we're talking, are they burnt out? That's why we lost in the fourth quarter. We played overtime. We were in the game the entire time. We could have won it by a couple of shots. Well, how do we lose? Free throws, bad ref calling. We can't blame it on the refs all the time, but it was inconsistent. Let's just say that. Knicks get a lot of inconsistent calls. Nonetheless, it's in the hand of the players. The players have to make their free throws. That's on you. So it's a winnable game. The good thing that we're talking about is that we're in these games. Unlike the other games where we were getting blown out or we're losing a 20-point lead, this is where we're learning to win. If you look back at some of the videos I spoke about before and what we talked about here, is that it's still a development year. Development is a process through the whole organization, not only from people, players that we're picking, for the coach to learn areas of opportunity. Same thing for players. This is a growth season. Next year, you'll see us a lot more in rhythm. We'll be fighting for a consistent spot in the playoffs at that time. Right now, we're still learning the aches and pains. Brunson's a winner. He knows what it takes. He knows how to be in. That's why he's Captain Clutch. You saw RJ taking the drive with 6 seconds left and whamming it on him. Okay, so you're seeing a lot of stuff that's happening. So now is where the the I guess you could say the oil hits the pan right now. Now is the second half of the season. This is where it's crunch time. This is where we gotta really step our game up. We can't slip. We can't let any games fall out of our hands. However, if we're in a game, that's a good thing. We weren't in them. We were in the fourth quarter. We fought to the end. We took it overtime. This is a positive thing. Players, I won't say there's a such thing as burnout. We're talking about in the 80s, people play 42 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever the time is, 40 north of 40 minutes for 82 games, like Wilt did. Wilt did that for his seasons. Now, there's some players who are probably more risk prone or injury prone. Those players you can, watch if they already had a history of injury. I can understand some of that. The Kawhi Leonards, John Walls, Kemba Walker, stuff like that. All right, you can watch some of their minutes, but if they're not your cornerstone, if they're not a dude like Brick House Randall, R.J. Barrett, Thibbs is a smart coach. Thibbs gives the players, uh, how do you say it? He gives them freedom. I was looking for a different word. He gives them freedom to kind of make their own decisions. He gives them a playbook, and it's up to the player to make the right play, the right reads. You hear him talk about it all the time at the end of a game, the post game. He's always talking about make the right reads. It's up to the player to make the move. I'm going to give you the playbook. This is what it is. These are your options. You figure it out. You make the right move. He gets the same way. He gives them the freedom to, if they're tired or want to get out, call out to get out. You've seen them plenty of times. If they're tired or they're injured, they'll wave to the bench. Yo, Thibbs, take me out. Give me a sub. But players, especially the big paid players, they want to play. They want to perform. They want to be in the game, especially during crunch time. That I think it's up to the players. I think he gives them the freedom to make their choice on there. But show me a team that doesn't do that. Show me a game where Giannis isn't playing north of 35 minutes every game. He plays it all the time, whether he's getting injured or not. He's playing 35. All the starters, all the main teams you see are playing heavy minutes. They have a heavy workload. Every team you see has that. So all the teams have that same workload that you're talking about. What you're seeing the last couple of games, and now another thing besides the burnouts, we're talking about our bench. Our bench is sucking. We're not producing. I mean, Obi's been out north of a month, probably about a month or so. Just starting to get back into rhythm from a knee injury. You don't want to rush him back. He was a big production for it. He's not running up and down because he had a knee injury. He's not able to play his regular game that he did. He's sitting in the threes because he can't get that bounce right away. You don't want to rush him. So you're slowly working them back into conditioning. Most of our bench players, i.e., quickly, they were playing in the starting role. When RJ was out, you had IQ playing in the starting position. So all those minutes he was playing, all those 36 points, those 30-point games, which would have been coming from the bench, is now in the starting role. So that's why you see the bench unit was deplenished. Sorry, not replenish. Anyway, depleted. Sorry, that's why you saw the bench points were depleted, and that's why there was not that much production. Which is why you want to sign IQ. That's why IQ will be re-signed. That's why Obi should be re-signed once he gets back into rhythm. Those are our key pieces. So that's why you see there's not that much production coming from the bench. It's going to take Deuce a little time. Again, we spoke about that before. Getting into rhythm, getting into shots, the team trusting him now. He was getting heavy minutes. He's not getting heavy minutes. So it's a big adjustment for him to figure out what his role is and play whatever role the coach puts him in there now. The coach is giving him trust. He's playing. He's getting minutes sporadically. So he has to try to figure out a way to be productive with the minutes he's getting, like how Obi did. Obi took a while. He was playing small minutes, but when he got in, once he got used to it, he learned to be productive and maximize his minutes. So that's why he's very efficient with the small minutes he gets. Eventually, you're going to see Deuce figure that out and be effective and efficient with the minutes that he's getting, whether it's little or not. Until next year, now that Thibbs trusts him, by next year he'll get a bigger role. His shot will start falling a little bit more. But you've seen Randall finding him, looking for him. You've seen Evan, when Evan plays, Evan finds him, and he's been productive when a player finds him and trusts him in a shot. Evan trusted him like 3 times in a game. He hit those three pointers. So you see, it's all about trust and rhythm. You have to be in a rhythm, the flow of the game. You can't find it last minute, 2 seconds on the clock, dump it to him and shoot. He's more of a rhythm player. When you see him in the G League, he's the dude with the ball. So he has control. He's getting into his own rhythm. So those are the different aspects that you're seeing. So the minute talk, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying the minute talk. They've already been 3 years with Thibbs, so they know his system. You can see Randall in game I want to say taking plays off, but you'll see him trotting, or normally he wants to touch the ball and he wants to dribble it up the court, but you'll see him give it to Brunson. You'll see he'll toss it back to Brunson, and he'll have that slight little jog while Brunson's setting the play. When RJ was in and they were rolling, when all three of them were rolling, you would see either he would start off or he'd start our Cole, and then RJ would take over. Then RJ was first and second quarter, sometimes third. So they're learning to play off of each other and help each other. When one person's tired, the next person takes over. So you can see that fluidity starting to work in, and they're learning to figure out where and when they can take plays. And I want to say plays off, but recoup their energy. Let's just say that. So that's what you're seeing now. Randall usually likes taking over early, so he'll be the first one, first quarter, dominating, taking over. And when we were winning, I want to say the 8 games straight, when RJ, Brunson, when we were all rolling, then you'll see RJ second, third quarter, late third quarter, fourth quarter was Brunson. That's usually how they were kind of playing off of each other until the injuries, till Obi got hurt, stuff like that. So now, again, with all those X factors happening, RJ out, Obi out, you have to figure out a way to win. And it's not with the same way that you had, so it's not the same formula. So what you're watching is different formulas working. All right, if this person's out, this is how we got to play. This is what we got to do to win. If these people out, so they're learning as a team to figure out different ways of winning. It's not the same like everybody's always playing and we're losing. There's a lot of different factors. Obi's been out a month. He was a key player on our fast breaks. We were one of the top teams in fast breaks. He's out the game. You no longer have the fast breaks. So you see, RJ was one of the best second and third quarter players at that time and dominating in the lane. You have to readjust and retool and still find a way to win. That's how basketball works. But most people aren't looking at that. Most people aren't looking at the game. They're looking at a stat, or they're hearing Knicks for clicks. They're hearing the other people talk about this. Oh, it's minutes. Oh my God, not minutes. Oh my God, Randall's tired. He's tired. He's playing 45 minutes. He slept for 23 hours, but he's tired for 45 minutes. Come on, man. You grown. You get tired for your 8-hour shift at work? You got to do it, right? You got to figure out, muster up a way, and get it done. That's just the way it is. So I'm not into the minute conversation. Could it be? All right. But show me a team that isn't playing their starters, especially this time of the season, which this is when it starts the separating of the teams right now. This is with the East so close, you can't lose one or two. You can't go on a losing streak at all. The minute you go on a losing streak, it's hard for you to regain 4 or 5 games if you lose. And that takes you from fifth place to 10th place real quick. If you look at 9 through 12 and even all the way up to fifth and sixth place, it's within a couple of games. So now is the most critical part of the season that you have to go hard. Pause. This is where you got to go and play your best basketball. This is when you got to really count on your players. This is where you got to work on your efficiency. This is where you got to keep your formula. This is where you got to find the will to win. And that's what we're learning, the will to win at all costs. No matter who's on the floor, they're figuring out that formula. We already know Captain Clutch, Jalen Brunson's he's our game time go-to. Give it to him with the last minute. He's that dude. He's that guy. We know that. Other teams know that. So now you're still going to have to figure out a way. If it's not him, who else is going to go? That's why you saw RJ drive it and wham it, not pass the ball before he would have been tentative. He knew what he had to do. 6 seconds on the clock. I got to drive. We ain't got time to play. We ain't got no minutes to waste. No one's going to stop me. I'm taking it to the rim. You got it? So that's something else developing RJ wouldn't have done before. He would have ran, try to wait at the 3 or something like that. They're figuring out their ways of what they can contribute, how they can contribute, and being aware, game situation awareness. So there's a lot of situation awareness at this stage of the season that you're seeing. Situational awareness is a big piece to what Thibodeau preaches. Are you smart enough? You gotta make the plays. You see them all the time. He talks about it. Make the right reads. Make the right reads. He's giving them the flexibility to run it. So when you're talking about pulling people out, substitutions, the players know Thibodeau's system. The players know pretty much what's going to happen. The players know what move to make or what they should go to. If Julius takes the last shot 2 or 3 times, they're bad shots. He's going to learn like either what shot's going to work and he's going to work on that, or should he draw the defenders to him and make the pass to someone who's going to hit the shot, the Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson took that shot. He knew he didn't have time to pass on anybody. He had to take that shot. 8 out of 10 times he's going to make that shot. So we would have been talking about a hero, Captain Clutch. Look at the Knicks win. We missed one shot in overtime, and now we're talking about dead legs or substitutions. We can't be so critical, man. We have to see the good. You have to take the good with the bad. We're in games now. We fought to OT. That's a positive compared to blowing out a 20-point lead. And this is our rival. This is Toronto. They're a good team. They're usually in the playoffs. So this is our nemesis. It was a bad loss in that aspect as our division rivals, but that's the NBA. I would rather lose this way than blowing a 20-point lead or getting blown out by this team and embarrassed in our garden. That was a hard-fought game. So I'll take it. We said earlier in the low 40s, mid to low 40s, when we're close to that, it could be higher, it could be more, but we're rolling. We're doing good. Out of multiple games, we're over 500 in the last 20 games. Talk about the positive, guys. You can't be so negative all the time. It's all right. It's all right. We're doing good. We're doing good. We're playing well. We have a great winning team. We're on almost a better record than we were in 2012 with Carmelo and all these people. So if you look at the records, you got Julius Randle, shout out, had just passed Bernard King. That dude's he's aiming for the rafters, bro. He's aiming up there for that jersey to be up there, and it's a good possibility. So love your team, man. Follow your team. We're doing great. This is one of the better seasons we've had in 10 years, more than 10, something like that. So have fun with it. It's supposed to be a fun process, a fun journey. Support them. Anybody who talks bad about them, shoot them down. And I'm pretty sure you got a different opinion. Leave a comment below. I will respond. I want to respond to some of you guys. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to like it. It's just what I see. That's it. But have fun. It should be a fun thing. It's our team, Knicks Nation. Stand up. Don't sit down. Get off your hands, man. Clap. Cheer for your team. Knicks Nation. We back, baby.